I guess y'all be able to hear me. I'm gonna have to fix this.
All right. I guess ain't nothing working, man.
I'll have to fix the situation or
Or
whatever I got here. But all right,
What's up, man? What's up?
okay, that's enough. I'll figure it out. We'll figure out the glitches. Welcome to Set in the West. Who's all here for the first time? Make some noise, blah blah blah. I don't care, but I appreciate all of the regulars who are here. Archangel Michael, got A. Reed, got Auntie Leah, um, one and only King. Appreciate you. Lauren Speaks Up was just here. Yeah, we can hear you. Slight white noise. Yeah. I'll figure that part out. I'm gonna figure that out. We just gonna have to make that do what it do. I'll figure it out. I don't know if it's this line in here. Is this line in affecting it? I don't know. I'm gonna test it out later. Anyway, I'm just trying to get some stuff ready. But look. How does it look? How does it sound? How do I look? Does everything look good? Never mind the sound. Forget all that. All right. So if you look at the title, everything that I'm talking about in the title, who benefits from reform? I'm talking about this Roc Nation alliance, initiative, right? It's a Roc Nation um, reform alliance. So if you guys don't know, Roc Nation has a reform alliance. And this is what it says. Let me just let y'all know what it is right here. Reform Alliance. It's criminal justice reform foundation. That's what it's for. It's a reform alliance. That's what it's doing business as. It's a nonprofit. It states its mission is to transform probation and parole by changing laws, systems, and culture so people can move towards work stability and a well-being rather than a cycle back into incarceration. Reform says its origins was Meek Mill's probation case. After his re-imprisonment and the Free Meek campaign, the organization launched in January 2019 around the argument that millions of people without Meek's resources or celebrity platform face excessive probation, parole restrictions, and technical violations. What's up, Golden A's? What's up? So let me continue. So the policy argument is essentially that probation and parole were supposed to be alternatives to incarceration, but can instead become mechanisms for reincarceration over conduct that it is not itself a new crime. Missed appointments, travel restrictions, reporting problems, and other technical violations. So reform advocates shorter supervision terms, fewer people under supervision, earned credits, individual conditions, remote reporting, and reduced incarceration for technical violations. So reform currently says it has helped pass 23 bills in 12 states, create a pathway for nearly 850,000 people to exit supervision and move towards employment and stability. The site highlights work in Florida, California, Michigan, Georgia, New York, Louisiana, Virginia, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. Examples include California laws limiting many probation terms. And on its face, it's not merely a people get out of jail organization. It's a public program. It's largely policy reform, probation and parole legislation, reentry, and employment advocacy. Now, here's the question that I got. So, Jay-Z is a founding partner of Reform, and he's also the co-founder of Roc Nation. The Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez sits on the Reform board. Reform own site describes Desiree Perez as working simultaneously through Roc Nation's humanitarian arm, Team Roc and Reform. These organizations have actually worked together operationally. So in 2021, Roc Nation and Reform jointly organized a New York job fair at Madison Square Garden, aimed to partly like formerly incarcerated people, along with single parents, along with veterans and people in workforce development programs. Roc Nation and Reform said they would themselves offer jobs by recruiting companies like um, Amazon, Lowe's, Foot Locker, Live Nation. The event was provided like they will help you with your resume, expungement assistance, and grooming and professional clothing. So here's what we got to do: we got to separate social justice operation. That's a different thing that Roc Nation has. The business network and um, the population Reform is cultivating relationships with. So what we don't have is like a relationship. We don't have evidence that those relationships that they were talking about are being exploited for Roc Nation's private benefit. So let's just start with that. Now check this out. Reform. We're gonna follow the money. Reform's 2024 nonprofit filing. It shows approximately $43.8 million in revenue, $18 million in expenses, and $57.1 million in net assets. So about 95% of its 2024 revenue came from contributions, while the filing summary reports zero in program service revenue. This is provided to me by ProPublica. Now, that doesn't establish any wrongdoing, contribution, funded nonprofit. That's normal. But the question is, who benefits? It isn't just, it's really about who benefits from it. So I'm going to look into like who funds Reform, who receives contracts from Reform. We're going to ask if Roc Nation or Team Roc or companies controlled by the board members, controlled by board members, are they paid vendors? Do justice impacted people introduced to Reform later become participants in commercial ventures, litigation, promotions or campaigns, benefits to affiliate businesses? Are referral relationships between Reform, lawyers, advocacy organizations, and Roc Nation related entities? I'm sure are there, but we're going to ask that. Are there any referral relationships? Do Reform 990 Schedule L disclosures show transactions involving insider or related businesses? Who pays for the events? Who pays for media production, consultant, travel, advertising, legal services? And is there documentation showing that individuals were recruited through Reform for something unrelated to criminal justice reform? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I looked into this state Drake lawsuit. Now number one, I'm not blazing for either one, for Roc Nation or Drake. But the Harvard Journal of Sports and Entertainment law article, they're talking about Ridley versus Sweepstakes Ltd. The organization plaintiffs were LaShawna Ridley and Tiffany Hines. They sued State USA or State.us, Drake, Aiden Ross, George Wynn. I think Academics was involved in it at one point too, but I think that's via George Wynn. George Wynn is allegedly the what is his name? Grand Wizard Chat Ninja or something. The complaint alleges RICO and Virginia consumer protection violations involving states' gambling structure, their celebrity promotion, and it alleges a like tipping / payment system and alleged artificial music streaming activity. Now, these are all allegations, no facts, no facts. The complaint itself describes Ridley and Hines as Stake.us users who said Drake's promotional activities influenced them to participate. It says they suffered economic harm from what they allege was misleading marketing. So here's my theory. Here's my theory. I couldn't find credible evidence in the Harvard article, the original federal complaint, the sources I reviewed about the case, or Reform's material establishing that Ridley or Hines were formerly incarcerated, were Reform participants, were recruited by Reform, or were placed into litigation by Roc Nation. So it's not fair to say that Roc Nation used former criminals to file the state lawsuit. But I think somebody has some documentation, and it's with the YouTube channel called What's the Dirt. They did a little background on Ridley and Hines. And I'm going to just suggest that y'all go over there and go look into that. You see what I'm saying? Because this Harvard Law School article, it didn't say that Ridley or Hines were formerly incarcerated, but we know they were. I know one of them, Ridley or Hines, had some drug charges, and they were, they're residents of Virginia. So, come on, put two and two together. You get what I'm saying? So here's another new development. After the plaintiffs were added to the federal case on the court on July 30th, 2026, the federal court ordered state-related claims into arbitration and stayed the federal action while arbitration proceeds. The order did not decide whether the underlying accusation against State, Drake, or the others were true. So, think about it. What's up, Kat? What up, everybody? I was trying something out with this system, and for whatever reason, this was not working right as far as the sound. I guess the audio, well, I'll fix the audio. That's what I do. I'll fix that. But the issue that, well, the visual looks good, right? I just want to make sure visually it looks good, right? Did y'all hear what I was saying in regards to that case that that was against State, U.S., and Drake, the class action lawsuit? The two individuals, and there's more individuals that were added to that lawsuit, and a lot of them are related. That's the funny thing. They're all related. And I think they have some cases on them as well. But go look at that site. I mean, go look at that channel. What's the Dirt? And they started really breaking it down as far as like this new development in regards to these people that were included in this site. And I'm gonna dig a little deeper. When I get the sound, when I get the audio together, I'll come back and I'll maybe I'll do a deeper analysis, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I basically was just like, what is Reform actually doing? We already saw that. We saw that it was started because of Meek Mill's case. And Meek Mills is a high-profile person and has access to different people, and it was easier for him to do what he needed to do with it. So how is Roc Nation and Reform connected? It's through Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, and Team Roc. They have joint job fairs. They have this employment and expungement services. Now, that's a good thing, but were these like simple philanthropy partnerships, or were these relationships created were they relationships created essentially to influence or help out one another? And again, I said follow the money. We're gonna look into, where did this $43 million come from back in 2024, and where did the expenditures go? Which companies received contracts, and whether affiliate businesses, if they appeared anywhere in the filings. Another question: what does the state lawsuit actually allege? We're gonna get deeper into that. We're gonna separate the gambling allegations, the Drake promoting allegations, and the streaming manipulation allegations. And everything is alleged, but we're going to look into it. Now, we've heard the claim that injustice impacted individuals somehow become plaintiffs or instruments in litigation beneficial to Roc Nation interests. That's what we're going to look into. Like, really, really for real. Y'all look at that, what's the dirt, and check this out, and check that out. But it's deep. It's really deep. And I'm just like scratching the surface because I just wanted people to kind of just get a little bit of just a taste of what it is that I'm talking about here. Again, excuse me and forgive me. I'm still fixing technical difficulties and all that good stuff. But I might come back. You might see us a little late, but we'll see. I might come back and then we could really go deeper into this or whatever. Free speech reminder. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, and I didn't say anything. Look, trust me. They showed me that they already showed me what's up with them, and I ain't tripping on them. If they want to look, I'm gonna tie in an organization, a law firm called Reed Smith, who came after my channel last year. This time last year, I didn't have a channel. I didn't have Set in the West. It was gone. I had to work on getting it fixed, figured out. I can show y'all, and in fact, that's what I will do. I will show y'all all the documentation that I have for when Reed Smith came after me. Reed Smith is Desiree Perez's go-to law firm. Reed Smith is tied in with this this whole little litigation thing that's going on with State and Drake. Reed Smith is the law firm that got Beyonce out of the contract with her dad. Look that up. Reed Smith is hella intertwined with Jay-Z, Beyonce, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez. And then they're going after little content creators. It's funny, they're talking about all these different content creators that had got attacked. They weren't talking about my channel, they weren't talking about Jaguar's channel, though, straight up. Because, truth be told, there's real, I see why they're afraid. I'll just say, and when I say they, it's because I'm talking about just this whole little system in general. Because I'm not going to talk too much, but I can tie in some other nefarious characters who came after Jaguar. The person that I can tie in for sure is Ariel Mitchell. I probably could tie in to Sean Perez because I heard some people say some things about Sean Perez. I'm very curious to know about his history and who he's tied to. But slippery, slimy lawyers, they all work together. And we know Ariel Mitchell is a slippery, slimy lawyer, and she works with these people. And she does maybe she doesn't have a direct connect to Roc Nation, but allegedly Jay-Z paid for her schooling. And I think her and Jay-Z had something, allegedly. This is what they're saying out there. This is what the internet streets are saying. I know for a fact that J. Cole went to school with Ariel Mitchell. Coincidence? Not a lot of people are talking about that. So there's a whole lot of like inner workings that I can just figure out easily. These investigators are already on it. They'll figure it out for us as well. And this whole campaign that went on with Jaguar, the online campaign, I'll be able to tie some stuff, with that as well. It's going to get very interesting. And then all of a sudden, coming after my channel, I mean, for what? Because we produced a documentary that Desiree Perez's daughter just presented the evidence of what had happened to her. And we just said, oh, this is a good story. We just produced a documentary and produced a 5-6-part documentary series on it and just presented it to the public, and we get attacked. So just good luck. Keep on. Jay-Z said he's all on offense now. Okay, stand on your offense, because a lot of the offense stuff that you have been doing may get you into some legal issues down the line. We got the proof for the most part. It's just going to take a little bit of, putting some stuff together, and that's it. So I'm already knowing that I'm not too concerned or worried about any of these weirdos. That's just what it is. The online weirdos and the industry weirdos, not too concerned, not at all. What do you say? Probably because we published all the receipts and it looked hella suspicious shutting down our platforms after all that's been exposed, and yet they didn't touch it. Yeah, they didn't touch your channel, but I have a theory about that too. I do have a theory about that. They just wanted to make themselves known. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much really they were trying to intimidate. But while they were intimidating, and let me just say allegedly, because I'm gonna get my stuff together. We're gonna get it together. They allegedly participated in tortious interference and messing with people's just messing with people's. It's what do they call that? I can't say intentional emotional distress, but it's definitely a stressful thing when you got a person like, clear as day, Desiree Perez saying, "I'm striking you for a photo you used," but she did not have the rights to use that photo. That was not her photo, and I was able to prove that was not your photo. That's how I was able to get my channel back. But y'all are really trying to go after weirdos, and that's all I gotta really say. I'm not gonna give too much energy to that individual because, to be honest, this reform situation, the Reform Alliance, I have a nonprofit that I'm gonna more than likely push out there, and let's see if we can get the same amount of money that they get, because the crack epidemic was intentional genocide. Let me repeat that. The crack epidemic was intentional genocide. And I say that because I did research. And when you know what you know about history, crack wasn't like just made up out of nowhere. Like it didn't just grow out of the concrete and fools started gathering it up and start smoking it and start selling it and distribution throughout the United States. No, it was intentional. It was Oliver North. It was the CIA. It was Bill Casey. It was that was the head of CIA at the time. Danny Blandone. It was, you could even say Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, an unwilling, unknowing participant. But everybody who participated in that trade, that D-rug trade, should not be benefiting from any type of government programs at all. Does that make sense? I don't care if you got pardoned or not. If you anticipated in, like, let's just say that was a war crimes. if a Jew took 50 years to find a Nazi soldier and got him arrested, he would have been held to trial, and that's just they handle business. We got to be on the same page. These people who participated in the crack epidemic, you sold, you transported, you did any of that. You don't know. You don't deserve. No, no. Even if you were a fictional big time dope dealer rapper, but you really wasn't one, like the guy Rose. Or, I mean, well, Jay supposedly was one. He had he said something about some bricks in his back. You should not participate in any type of government program that enriches you, because that was an intentional genocide. I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. So that's my thing. I really am on that. I think we really should be going after people who polluted our communities, who hurt our babies, who hurt our old people, who took advantage of poor people. And it ain't just a black thing. It's just anybody that was economically disadvantaged. You got taken advantage of if you grew up in the 80s in the inner city, and any family just happened to become addicted to crack or selling it or no, that stuff needs to be you need to be taken care of. Real talk. Say, what if they're FBI agents or CIA agents and soldiers? Yeah, they need to be up out of here too. Like, no, for real. Straight up. Like, come on, let's quit playing, y'all. My thing is this, and I hate to say it, this country is bitch made. It's ran by a bunch of bitches. When if the same crop of guys that I grew up around and the OGs that I grew up with in the 90s, 80s and 90s, if they were around now and they heard about this Epstein stuff, oh man, that's part of the reason why they are just ramping up the surveillance and ramping up just, you could say something. We were listening to some Aretha Franklin, and then on the algorithm it comes up, right? Like outside of just the phones is picking up on your conversations, all that stuff. It's a reason why, because they want to know where everybody at. So when it's really time to like turn this motherfucker up, they want to know who to go get. And that's why they got the surveillance stuff, the AI stuff. They are scared. And when I say they, I'm just talking about those people that do bad shit. They're scared. And they're scared. That's it. But we got a whole bunch of bitches in this country. Nobody's going to do nothing. They're doing shit every day to, if it says it in the Constitution, if you are, if we're being ran by tyrants, we got every right to get them up out of here. So I'm not going to go too deep because, you know how they do. But I'm just letting you know, like, even if, let's start cleaning up the streets by just getting rid of all the old dope dealers. Let's put them to task. Desiree Perez got a expungement or whatever, or what do you call it? What did Trump give her? Whatever. But nonetheless, I don't think this reform little situation is enough. I think she should live on the salary of the average base head who's recovering. That fool probably making $15, $16 an hour right now. You know what I'm saying? And if you crack smoke your life away, that's on you. But I don't think if you were a person who peddled and distributed that and destroyed a lot of lives, you shouldn't be making millions of dollars. But God gonna take care of you anyway. Like, in all honesty, the way I look at it, God gonna handle on you anyway. You're gonna have to answer to the Most High, not the Creator. I'll say, because that's who you got to answer to. Anyway, pardon. Yeah, I couldn't think. Anyway, let me fix this little situation because I don't know why I'm having issues with my system, but we're gonna figure it out, y'all. Y'all hit the like button, y'all. If you're new here, subscribe. I'll probably edit this video so that it's that issue that I had in the beginning, I'm just gonna, edit it out. All right, y'all. We out of here.